This sucks. What was I doing playing with toys at my age? I just wish there was a futuristic, virtual, marble rolling game. Well, who could have predicted that? That was weird. Anyways. Alright. Oh. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Vertigo, huh? Well, kinda looks like a marble. Adrenaline-fueled, high-rolling, futuristic. Will tickle me pink. This might just be my lucky day. Or a most unlucky one. Vertigo was released in 2009 for the Nintendo Wii by Playlogic. In 2010, Playlogic filed for bankruptcy, which made Vertigo their last game on the Nintendo Wii. That's just a great sign. Alright, I've gotten into the game and I already have a complaint. The space for entering a name is way too small. You can't even fit Pumpernickel. I guess Pumpernick will have to do. After setting a name, get to customize how your Xorb looks, and now with our profile finalized, we can check out the career mode. Alright, before we get too far invested, let's take a look at the manual and brush up on some of the lore. Yeah, this game has lore. The manual states that in this game, you are a Xorber. Me? A member of the most elite Xorb racing corp in the galaxy. Seek hidden shortcuts and power-ups to help you survive and to become the fastest and most envied Xorber in the universe. Well, I'm sold. The career mode has you progress through the worlds and there's 6 levels in order. If you couldn't tell, the gameplay is essentially a Super Monkey Ball or Marble Blast clone, where you have to roll your Xorb through the environments, collecting secrets as you find them, and passing each checkpoint before reaching the final goal as quickly as possible. Since this is a Wii game, it has to use motion controls, but they work fine enough. You hold the Wii remote flat and tilt it forwards or back in the direction you want to go. If you find yourself going too fast, you can hold B to brake, and when it works, it stops you almost dead in your tracks. To move the camera, use left and right on the D-pad. To get an overhead view, you can use up. It can be a bit slippery and jank, but overall the controls do the job. You have 3 lives per stage, and if you use them all up, you get a game over and can either restart the course or return to the main menu. The graphics themselves are a bit rough. The textures are a bit flickery, and every so often there are strange graphical artifacts. But to be fair, they aren't horrendous for a budget Wii game. The first level, Metroscape, served almost as a tutorial, being an easy collection of stages which teach you the general controls. After beating each stage, you unlock the second world. In World 2, or Rocky Canyon, the theme drastically shifts from the futuristic city of Metroscape to a scenic natural one. The difficulty also goes up. Here, there are far less rails to guide you along, and maintaining the perfect momentum is key. And besides a frame rate tank and jumping off the edge twice like an idiot, both on level 2, the first 2 stages went smooth. But on level 3, things change. The first obstacle is a big ramp you have to go down and jump across a big gap to reach a platform where the rest of the stage continues from. And I must have tried this jump dozens of times, but I kept either bouncing off from going too fast or missing it entirely from slowing down too much, and for the sake of my sanity I had to give up. Thankfully, you can just skip ahead to the next stage. And this stage was almost even worse. Most of it was relatively easy, but there's a last jump to the goal which seemed straight up impossible, and so I did what I do best and gave up again. Thankfully, you can just skip ahead to the next stage. And then the first jump was once again impossible. Okay, I have to be missing something. What do you know? There's the second half to this page. I didn't even. Okay. It says A is a speed boost button. Guess I can try that. You know, maybe there should have been a tutorial. While I said the first stage served as a tutorial teaching you the controls, it tries to do so in a way where you just figure it out. And while I usually prefer that, they really don't teach you the speed boost or even the braking, and in my opinion, something so crucial, like the boost needed to make jumps later in the game, should have been introduced in the first stage. But whatever, maybe it's my fault for not delving into the controls. Point is, I know now, so I went back to level 4, and while I started struggling to even make it to the jump, once I got there I could make the jump super easily. I still don't feel ready enough to return to level 3, so now is a perfect time to check out the practice mode. It's pretty much just the career mode stages, but you have an infinite number of lives, so you can try them over and over without having to see the game over screen, which I really appreciate. Here I decided to try the third level again, because if I have infinite lives, then I can figure out what worked, and for giggles, I decided to boost as fast as possible down the ramp. Eventually I beat the level and took my skills back to career mode, and on my second attempt I finally beat it. I wasn't too amped to try level 5 again, so I skipped to 6, and it was a pretty cool one. It takes place in what seems to be a dilapidated cathedral, and it was way easier than the ones that came before it. To unlock the next planet I had to finish the entirety of Rocky Canyon, so I went back to 5, and with the boost it was light work. The next world is Reactor Town and has a theme which almost crosses the last two themes into one. I didn't like the first stage very much. If you miss the jump, it drops you down onto a platform where you have no option but to then jump off and kill yourself. And the first checkpoint you get to doesn't give you enough room to jump to the next platform, so you have to go back to get enough distance. The stage sucks so bad I have to step away to another mode. Arcade mode is essentially more of the same, having you play an assortment of levels from career mode with divulging paths, and you have to beat the levels in a set amount of time. It's not bad, but not crazy necessary. Still not wanting to go back to career mode, I checked out Xorb Bowling. It's pretty much how it sounds. You roll your Xorb trying to build as much momentum and knocking down as many pins with the floatiest physics of all time. Seriously, the way all the pins dramatically fly away might make this my favorite mode. I suspect this was only included to compete with all the casual sports type games on Wii, and to do that they just threw in this little mode so they could put bowling on the box. But it's dumb fun, so I'm glad they did. But after 4 rounds the music just cut out and then it got creepy.
Well done. 1 to go.
So now's a good time to move on. Finally, multiplayer. Or until the game crashed while I was getting a second set of batteries and it froze my Wii U and it wouldn't respond till I physically unplugged and plugged it back in. But after a reboot we're hopping into time trials, which is exactly how it sounds, having players take turns on levels, going for the fastest time, with the ghosts of previous players showing how far ahead or behind you are. Xorb Ball takes a turn and serves as a basketball minigame. You have to be super precise with shooting the ball into the goals, and you're supposed to use the D-pad to fire the ball, but it only has about a 50-50 chance of actually shooting. And for the final multiplayer mode, Xorb Fight. This one is a battle royale mode where you have to collect weapons and power-ups and smash into the other players to lower their energy bar before destroying them and trying to get the most points by the end of the round. I wish for this and Xorb Ball they had programmed computer players to serve as opponents, because while I can see this being a good amount of fun with buddies, I can't imagine myself inviting people over that often to play Vertigo. Well, I made it this far. Let's get back to the career mode. Back to level 1, and after a few tries I got back into the swing of it, and after a few leaps of faith I beat the first level. The second stage also wasn't too bad, but the thing with these stages is that they're a lot less linear, and the platforming made them way more confusing. Stage 3 has you rolling across this pipe in the beginning, and while it's quite tricky, the rest of the stage is a breeze. But unfortunately, stage 4 takes a turn for the worse. The beginning goes by pretty normally, but after the first checkpoint you have to carefully maneuver over this pipe and then make a mad dash to make the jump onto these unstable gears without going over the edge. And then after passing checkpoint 2, you reach this big jump, which I truly believe is impossible. You have to almost zigzag to build up so much speed and then clear the first step and then brake hard to land. I tried investigating to see if I missed some switch or if there's some super boost button, but I really cannot find any other way to make this jump. So with a heavy heart, I had to skip this stage. Stage 5 was just a bit tedious, having to roll across these platforms, but it was a piece of cake. The final stage is a bastard. You have to roll down a pipe very carefully, not going too slow, not going too fast, or else you miss or get flung to a later part of the stage. I tried using this as a shortcut, but to no avail. And then you have to roll down to a ramp and gain so much momentum that you manage to make it, and there was only one checkpoint. I gave this one so many chances, but I once again had to give up. Anyways, I continued on to the next world, Eco's Orbit. I beat level 1 super easily. Okay, I didn't. It really sucked, and it had more leaps of faith and cruddy physics with boxes. It sucked. After failing at stage 2 and then stage 6, I went back to the menu, saw how many worlds there truly were, and quit. But wait! We still need to try Wii Balance Board mode. The Balance Board was a hot new product in 2009, and they advertised it on both the front and the back of the box. Strangely enough though, they buried the functionality deep in the settings. I wonder why. Because it's really bad. You also still need a Wii remote to brake and speed up, so you might as well just control it like normal. Overall, while there is some fun to be had in the career mode, I can't say the game makes for a very fun single player experience. The difficulty ramps up just a bit too high, and the controls just aren't precise enough. That being said, only buy it if you can get it for very cheap. Otherwise just stick to Super Monkey Ball. This was a most unlucky day.